Ew. Hello. Today I will be starting a new reading challenge. It was not my idea. I got it from a YouTuber I was watching. I'll insert her name up here. But the video idea is this video finishes when I find a 5-star read. And it's exactly how it sounds. This is going to be a reading vlog that either lasts me a week or a year, 2 years, forever. We'll see. Hopefully it only lasts a couple weeks. The first book that I decided to pick up for this challenge was Belladonna. I actually have already finished this as I'm filming it, but this ended up being a 3.5 stars. I really thought it would be a 5-star going into it, but my problem with this book was that I went into it thinking it's a fantasy romance, and it felt more like a historical fiction with just some fantasy elements on the side. So it was very difficult to get into this book and to read it, and it took me months to get through. I actually put it down and then restarted it a few months later when I was more in the mood for it. And I also borrowed the audiobook, which really did help. However, unfortunately, this was only a 3.5. I did enjoy it though. It was really, really good. Death was swoon worthy. I was in love with him, and then the plot twist at the end with Silas, loved that. So I'm very excited for the sequel. I really did enjoy this, but it was unfortunately not a 5-star. So we're just gonna keep going. I have picked up the fine print, which is getting its own reading vlog. And then I started the Throne of Glass series, so I'm on book 1, the Throne of Glass right now. Fine print definitely will not be a 5-star. I can tell you guys that right now, but we'll see when I check in again when I finished it. And Throne of Glass, I doubt it's going to be a 5-star, but I do think that one of those books will be what causes this video to end, but we'll see. My hopes are high, and I will check back in when I have finished a book. I am back with an update. I finished 2 books and started a new one. The video is not ending yet. So I have finished the fine print, which I have a reading vlog coming out, so I'm not going to go into too much detail, but I did end up giving that 2.5 stars. I didn't like it at all. I don't even think I'm going to pick up the remainder of the series. I do have to say I'm very disappointed because I had high hopes for this one. It was a highly anticipated read, and I did think the fine print would be a 5-star when I started this video. But that being said, I am a picky reader, so I would not be surprised if this goes for the next 5 years. I also did finish Throne of Glass though, and that one was a 4-star. So that was surprising. I thought it would be a 3 to 3.75. I did not think that it would be a 4-star. So I'm really, really hoping that maybe Crown of Midnight or the next book in the series might be what ends this video. I think that would be very exciting. If it follows the ACOTAR pattern for me, then Crown of Midnight should be the 5-star that makes this video end, because ACOTAR for me was the first book, was 4 stars. Mist and Fury and Wings and Ruin were both 5 stars. Frost and Starlight I DNF'd and I'll be picking up in December. And then Silver Flames was 3.5. So if it follows a similar pattern, then the next 2 to 3 books, somewhere between there, should be a 5-star. So I'm excited for that. I'm really enjoying the series. I have absolutely no clue what it's about. I've never had anything spoiled for me. I've never read any of the book blurbs. I have no clue what it's about. The only thing I knew going into it was that it's fantasy with fae and that she's an assassin, and that was the only thing I knew. So I'm really enjoying it so far. It's a lot more fun because, like I said before, ACOTAR was spoiled for me. So I'm enjoying it. I'm excited. My hopes are very high. I'm really hoping I don't get disappointed. But I also have started a new book since the last update. I'm not that far into it. I'm about 2 hours into the audiobook, and I believe it's about a 10-hour audiobook. I'm not sure. But that book is It Happened One Summer by Tessa Bailey. Like I just said, I'm only 2 hours in, so I am not ready to form an opinion yet. I am liking it a lot more than I thought I would. I originally thought that I would hate it and DNF it like that, so it's looking up, which is shocking. But we'll see, we'll see. I'm reading both series despite how much I like it. But that is the update. We're not done yet, but we're guessing there. Ladies and gents and non-binary pals, we are guessing there. And I hope I find something. I really don't want this to be a 7-year-long video. I'm gonna be completely candid with you. Completely forgot I was filming this. So, big update. I finished It Happened One Summer and it was not a 5-star. I don't remember what the rating was. I think it was like a 3 or a 3.5. I really enjoyed it, and I do have an entire reading vlog coming out for that, so I won't go into too much detail, but I enjoyed it. It was a good read, but unfortunately it was not a 5-star. Currently I'm reading 4 books right now, so I'm still reading Crown of Midnight. I'm about halfway with that now. I am reading Beach Read. I am reading Hook, Line, and Sinker, and I am buddy reading The Guest List with My Boyfriend. Beach Read is a reread for me, and the last time I read it I gave it 5 stars, and so far it feels like it's going to have the same rating. So I have a very, very high suspicion that Beach Read will be what ends this video. I guess we will just see once we finish it. I'm only about 100 and something pages in, so I still have a while to go. But yeah, I do think that Beach Read will be the book that concludes this video. So in terms of Crown of Midnight, I don't think that's going to be a 5-star. I am so bored. This book feels like entirely 400 and something pages of just plot set up. So I'm very bored. There is absolutely no way this is going to be a 5-star unless something massive happens in the second half of the book that I just haven't gotten to yet. I really don't think that I'm going to be giving it 5-star or even a 4-star. I think it would be lucky if it gets a 3. I won't DNF the series, but I might take like a little break before reading book 3 because this book is just wearing me out a little bit. We'll see. That is the update, so let's hope I get a 5-star soon because I'm just forgetting this video exists. It is, I don't even know how much later, but I finished 3 out of the 4 books that I talked about last time, so I'm here for updates. This video is not ending, so I finished Hook, Line, and Sinker as well, and that was also a 3-star. My review for it will be in the Tessa Bailey video that I'll be posting, or have posted, depending on when this goes up. Probably this will be after that anyway, but it was good. I really liked it. Both books in the series were just really fun reads, but they weren't anything special to me either. So their ratings were good, but unfortunately neither were 5 stars, and so the video must continue. As of 30 minutes ago, I finished 2 books. The first one I'll be talking about is Crown of Midnight. That was a 3-star. It was fine. It's not been my favorite book out of the Throne of Glass series so far, but it's only book 2, so it's fine. But it was a 3-star, it was fine. I didn't like basically everything up until page 300, I think. Or didn't like, but it was boring. So it is what it is. It's fine. I'm assuming it'll go up from here because I am really enjoying the series. It was just that one in particular was boring. And then, drum roll, Beach Read was a 5-star. But I know you're thinking, but you said the video is not ending. I realized today when I re-reviewed it on Storygraph that it was already a 5-star read. I don't know if I mentioned that earlier and just forgot, or if I completely forgot up until now, but it was a reread for me and it was already a 5-star prior. So I can't end this video by rereading a book I knew was going to be 5 stars. Like, that's not fair. That feels like cheating. So that is why this will continue. Technically I have reached a 5-star, but it just feels like cheating because again, it was 5 stars. I picked it up knowing it would be 5 stars, so it just doesn't seem fair to the challenge. So that is where we are at. I think everything so far has been 3 or less, minus Throne of Glass and Beach Read, which is a shame. But we have more books. As I mentioned, I'm still reading the guest list. I haven't finished that one. That one won't be finished for another 3 weeks or so. However, even though that book for me is a reread, I only gave it 4 stars the first time I read it. So if this time around it does end up being 5 stars, I'm fine ending the video with that because it's not cheating, because it wasn't 5 stars before, you know? So maybe it'll be guest list, who knows? I'm enjoying it this time around a lot more, I think. But it's been good, so maybe that'll end the video. If not, I am starting Air of Fire soon, within the next few days, and I'll also be starting Autumn's Tith soon by Hannah Parker. My hopes are high for Autumn's Tith. Like, I remember reading the blurb and just falling in love, so my hopes are very, very high for that one. I'm hoping that's what ends this video. And then I'll just let you guys know, I am also rereading The Unhoneymooners, but that is also a reread, and that was also 5 stars, so that's not being done for this video, because if it's 5 stars again, cheating, same thing. So I'm hoping it'll be the guest list, Air of Fire, or Autumn's Tith. And hopefully next week or the week after I'll be back and this video will be finished. It is so hard to keep up with this one because I only check in when I finish or start books, and then I forget what I've spoken about. So I'm really hoping we're gonna reach the end of this soon. It has been fun though. It has also been stressful because I feel like I get 5 stars all of the time. Like, I'm not a picky 5-star person, but then the one time I'm trying to find one, it takes me 14 years, it feels like. So we will see, but that's where we're at. Hope for me, please. This video is ending, finally. God, I'm so relieved because I kept forgetting I was filming this. I keep forgetting what I said in the lost clips because it was like 2 weeks ago. But this is done. We're done. We found a 5-star. Hallelujah, it's over. So, I'm sure you're wondering what book it was. I don't remember what books I introduced last time, so if I forget to mention any books, sorry, I don't remember. But the book that ended up ending this challenge is The Guest List, and it was a reread. However, like I mentioned, the first time I read it, it was a 4-star, so it's not cheating because I didn't reread a 5-star to end this video. But yes, the second time around, The Guest List by Lucy Foley ended up being 5 stars. It was amazing, exquisite, so good. I hated everyone, but like, it's a thriller, so like, you're supposed to. It was amazing. I loved it. Obviously, I'm gonna make this spoiler free, but it is going to make it a bit more difficult to talk about my thoughts and opinions because a lot has to do with it. One thing was, since I read this before, I was convinced that I remembered who did it. I was convinced. I played suspicious and I like highlighted everyone's parts. I was like, that's bad, that's interesting, why'd he say that? Kind of situation, because as I've mentioned in abundance of times, this was a buddy read, so I wanted to at least make it more enjoyable for my boyfriend who was reading this for the first time and have like talking points and be like, oh, but didn't you think this was suspicious? And you know, I don't know, I was just trying to make it fun for both of us since I'd read it before. But I was convinced that it was blank. I'll put my like full review in the description so that if you've read it and you want to see my thoughts and opinions without any like spoilers, scroll to the very, very bottom and I'll have it there. But I thought it was this one person, 100% convinced. And I was like, I don't need to look twice. I'm gonna look twice for the fun of it, but I don't need to think about it. And then it ended up not being that person. And I wanted to bash my head against a wall. I was so shocked. I literally had to close the book and just take a 5-minute break to like control my emotions because I was so incredible. I think I was more shocked the second time around than I was the first time around because I was so certain that it would be this one person and it wasn't. Like, it was so weird. Like, I fooled myself. But it was also so much fun because I was so certain and then I was so wrong that it just ended up being so much more fun. And also my first review talked about that person in a kind of way where it's like I knew they were guilty, but not exactly like that. So I was like, oh, it's definitely that person, but no, I tricked myself so well. It was so good and so much fun and truly like so weird. It was so weird when I found out who did it. I was so confused. I was like, how did I misremember this? But then once I finished everything, it made a bit more sense. That being said, all of the characters hateful. So incredibly hateful. Will, Johnno, Jules, Charlie, all of the ushers, all hateful. The only likable characters were Hannah and Olivia, and honestly, Eva and Freddie were fine. They weren't like a part of the story enough for me to find likable or unlikable, I want to say. But especially the men though in this. So awful, bad, terrible, hate them, didn't like them. Will, in terms of the actual murder, the person who died, I was happy about it. I felt like it was kind of deserved a little bit. Like they were not a good character at all. They were hateful and terrible and mean. Didn't like them. So I didn't mind the choice of victim. And then the choice of murderer, I was also pretty happy. There were a couple people who I was kind of like, you know what? You deserve justice. And this was a mystery thriller, so I can want you to be morally gray. That's a lot. So there were a couple of characters that I wanted to be the murderer, because I was like, you deserve to kill someone. You deserve to kill someone. You deserve to kill. No one actually deserves to kill someone. This is fiction. So let's just encompass that real quick. I don't advocate for murder. This is a fictional story. But there were a couple characters who I wanted to do it. The person who ended up doing it wasn't one of them, but then when like we found out the reasoning for it, I was like, you know what? Overall, like, very happy with this novel. Even happier I decided to reread it. Even happier that I read it instead of listened to it. It was so good. I am definitely rereading both The Paris Apartment and The Hunting Party. And like actually reading, because I listened to both of those as well. And last but not least, I am also most certainly going to buddy read them. I'm forcing him to read it with me. He's gonna get the books, he's gonna read them with me. We're gonna do a buddy read. This was fantastic, so much fun, cannot wait. Truly such an outstanding book. Like, if you have not read The Guest List, drop everything you're doing, go to wherever you buy or rent books, get it and read it. The chapters are super short, the characters are very interesting, the writing flows well, it's decently paced. Like, you fly through it. You fly through it, truly. Like, I had to pace myself. But the hardcover is 313 pages. You could easily fly through like 50 pages a day and finish it in like a week. Like, drop what you're doing and go read The Guest List. And if you don't like it, don't tell me. I will not agree with your opinion. If you don't like it, that's fine, but don't tell me. But yeah, it was really, really, really good, despite the fact that this video became a bit painful to film because I kept forgetting, as I keep mentioning. I'm very happy that this book is the one that ends it, because this book deserves to end it. It's truly so good. And again, just go read it. And if you don't want to read The Guest List, go read any other Lucy Foley book. Hunting Party, Paris Apartment. I don't know what else she's written, but if she has written something else, go read that. Just trust me, so good. She's such a brilliant writer. Have you read The Guest List though? If you have, definitely let me know. If you talk about any spoilers, definitely just highlight it so that people don't read it in case they haven't read the book yet. But let me know if you like The Guest List, if you think this book deserves to end this video. If you did like this video, I'd really appreciate a like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like it. And I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you. Bye.